This is Pac-Man, an early 1980s video game that revolutionized the gaming industry. It just had its anniversary, so to celebrate, I made an infinitely procedurally generated version of Pac-Man. On the surface, Pac-Man might be a simple game where you collect orbs and dodge ghosts in the game, but this is not the case. So instead I've separated the entire video into these parts for more organization. As you can see, Pac-Man is quite a complex game with several innovative discoveries, such as AI to keep the game fun, enticing back and forth gameplay, and the idea of the difficulty curve. But Pac-Man misses a straightforward thing. Randomness. Randomness is now seen in many games in the present and is what keeps gameplay diverse and fresh. However, Pac-Man has the same terrain, AI algorithm, and dot location, which lacks the knowledgeable player's replayability. So that's why I'm here to fix that today. Now, I'll be making Pac-Man in a 3D top-down style, which functions the same way as if it would two-dimensionally. I thought that a 3D style looked more excellent and suited for the game since it was infinitely procedurally generated. There are some simple rules that I want to follow while making the game. 1. I need to try to resemble the old style Pac-Man. Even though I'm making it 3D and the terrain will be generated, I want to have some of the same gameplay and looks to the game. 2. I want to create ghost AI accurately. And 3. All models have to be made by me, or I need to find them online. First, let's look at Pac-Man's movement. Pac-Man's movement is unique in that when you press an arrow, Pac-Man will directly go in that direction, only stopping when another input is added or it hits the wall. This is efficiently coded with a second check on the input, whether it should be going or not. Let's try it. Perfect, it's done now. The only difference is that the space between the walls, however this doesn't affect the gameplay too much. Next, let's take a look at the structure of the walls in Pac-Man. In Pac-Man, the walls can either be horizontal or vertical. As you can see, there's no wall with a different angle other than the 4 angles 0, 90, 180, and 270 degrees. So we can take out 2 of the redundant angles that look like the same. So what we have now are 2 angles that we can procedurally generate a version of Pac-Man. But hold on, how are we going to achieve this? Simple answer, noise. The noise we're going to use for this game is Perlin noise. It's not the sound noise, it's a pseudo-randomly generated texture that simulates height maps. The texture is analog, meaning that the texture can vary between values 1 and 0. But since there are only 2 cases where a wall can be rotated in this game, all we need to do is check whether the Perlin value is more significant than a specific value. And it kind of works now. Next, I added an on-trigger box glider to check if the walls are in the box, and if not, it moves upwards towards the player's input direction. And now, the generation is entirely functional, and it surprisingly worked without much hassle. The player can carry every direction while retaining the current size, reducing lag and increasing the efficiency of the game. One of the best and most unique parts of Pac-Man is the ghost AI. It's extremely intricate and should not be looked over by. To start, there are 4 ghosts which have their own unique personalities. First, Blinky, whose primary goal is to attack Pac-Man's current position directly. Second, Pinky, who targets the square 2 spaces in front of Pac-Man to try to predict where he'll go. Next is Clyde. This shy ghost attacks Pac-Man but gets scared within an 8-tile radius. Lastly, Inky, perhaps the most out of the ordinary but quite intelligent. Inky takes a position between Blinky and Pac-Man, then doubles it and tries to predict where Pac-Man will likely enter. It almost seems that the ghosts are cooperating and helping each other from the perfect strategy to capture Pac-Man. Of course, during search mode, the ghosts will form a strategy that can be manipulated, but the people with lack of knowledge in the game still see the ghost AI as random. But having such complex behavior stresses the player, so to reduce the pressure, the original developers added a scattered mode in the finite state machine of the ghost. They added this scatter mode to reduce the player's stress and give an intermission between the waves. The scatter mode basically tells the ghost to go to a specific corner on the screen, whether it be top right corner, top left, or bottom right. Typically these scatter sessions end rather quickly, but help the player have fun nonetheless. That was the neutral side of the spectrum, the stress side being when Pac-Man gets chased by the ghost. In previous games, there's always an enemy and a player, and the enemy would likely be as powerful as the player, or even more. But Pac-Man brought super pellets. Super pellets allow Pac-Man to chomp on the ghost while gaining points. So this was the first time that in gaming history where a player had control over an almighty enemy, which therefore falls into the power-hungry side of Pac-Man. These three modes are the predominant mode which shift control between the player and the ghost. In turn, this is what makes Pac-Man so enticing to play. So let's implement these features in the game. I first found a free ghost on Sketchfab, then imported it into Unity. Then by changing all the colors, I made the spirits resemble what they were in the original game. Next, I made AI into the game. Blinky is quite simple to deal with. By calculating the position of Pac-Man, we can set the destination there. Pinky, I created a position 3 tiles in front of Pac-Man for Pinky to attack. Clyde will get scared within an 8 tile radius, and Inky will extrapolate Blinky's position to Pac-Man and then double it. Now to make the second mode for the ghost, the scatter corners need to be dynamic. So I added the scatter corners relative to the player's position so the ghosts could keep up. Lastly are the orbs. Since the orbs are technically infinite in this project, we need to find another way to generate super pellets. Since there are 244 dots on the normal map, 4 of which are super pellets, we can use this probability in our Perlin noise, which is a 1 in 100 chance. Then I added a score system which Pac-Man can collect orbs and eat ghosts to gain points. Pretty neat. Now we have a functioning AI to catch the player, infinite procedural generation, and an input system similar to Pac-Man. However, that's not the end of the story. Pac-Man also has an elegant difficulty curve where it equally challenges the player while retaining its fun. The way they do this is by increasing the speed overall of the game when you collect some orbs. You can hear this in the siren too. This perfectly balances the fun with the game, so I added this feature but forgot to change the siren. Perhaps in a release I could polish it up a bit more. Next up is just polishing up. First I added some sounds from a zip file into the game, a menu, and some UI to show the player's score. Perfect, and we're all done. So here's me playing the game. Okay, so we're in the menu, so I'm just gonna click play. Let's see how this goes. This is the first build, so okay, so it works. So we're gonna just collect some pellets, and basically what happens here is that the ghosts will try to attack me, but I think they're in scatter session right now, so they're just being bad. But yeah, I got a super pellet and I'm attacking them. So we're just running away now. Probably gonna speed this up a bit so it doesn't bore you out. Okay, so I'm probably gonna get this super pellet and wait for them. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna try to attack them and get some points. Hopefully I don't die here. Oh, I died. So yeah, that was Pac-Man. It's a pretty simple game, but I think it could be expanded upon. Of course, I'm not gonna release it because legal reasons, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to join my Discord server because it's kind of dead there, but I think you can make it alive. Alright, bye.